Welcome to More Than a Few Words, marketing conversation for business owners. MTFW is part of the Digital Toolbox, and this is your host, Lorraine Ball. And we've talked a lot about geo-targeting and really focusing in on your community to be very, very effective. And while that works really well for plumbers and roofers, it may not necessarily work for your business. And that's why I've reached out to Krystal Covington to talk to us about targeting and creating geo-targeted advertising for companies that really can sell their business, that really can sell their services anywhere. Krystal's an award-winning business strategist leading a team of technical specialists to achieve revenue targets for companies around the globe. Under her leadership, Go Lead Consulting clients have achieved goals such as triple-digit revenue growth, top-tier media features, and entries into new markets. She's been awarded the Denver Business Journal 40 Under 40 and the Acquisition International Marketing Entrepreneur of the Year Award. She's been featured in Forbes, Business Insider, The Wall Street Journal, and more. She's been interviewed on ABC, CBS, and Fox News. She's presented a she's presented a TEDx talk, and today she's on More Than a Few Words. Krystal, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm excited. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you here. And this topic is so interesting to me because so much of the marketing that I've done has been working with companies that are more geographically constrained. And every now and then you run into a company that really can sell anywhere, but they're not big enough to go up against the big national brands. But you say there's a way to maybe use research to find great regions. Okay, I'm into it. I'm a consultant. I want to sell nationally. How do I approach online advertising?
Yeah, that is something that I've been tackling a lot over the past several years. I began, I'll let you know kind of where this first started. I had so many customers that would come to me, and I had begun selling SEO services along with my publicity because PR is only, PR can do so much, but you need your digital marketing tactics. You need, to do your advertising, you need to do your SEO. And they would come to me and say, well, I'm not location based, I'm everywhere. And I would look into what I need to do to get them to rank in the various keywords that they want. And it's tremendous. And in some cases we would start competing, and then I would find, we get, several more links, and then the competitor gets 8 more links. And so it's a constant battle between these major players when you're playing with national keywords. I'm not saying that you can't do some of that, but I think that it's important to build a strategy that incorporates some regional or local outreach and targeting as well, because it helps you to use your budget more effectively. So then you might be able to master a specific area with, for example, $500 a month versus $3,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really makes a difference. And then you can still get great lead flow from that business. And so one tactic that I found that was really helpful, I had gone through a training and learned a little bit more about using Google Trends. And when you look at keywords in Google Trends, not only does it tell you how those keywords have grown over time and what's happening with them, you can see the trajectory and kind of find other related keywords, but you can also see where those keywords are trending.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
can really begin to see, yes, this is an important keyword, but people in Denver and Detroit are way more interested than Boston and Baltimore.
Yes. And
Oh,
so,
it's brilliant.
yes, I've had the chance to test this out a few different times with retail, which is always really interesting. And I saw improvements in sales when I went from just a national ad and I did an experimental ad that was targeted to 3 states where it showed the highest search volume coming from. And so, because it is, those are places where people are already in the market for that, we were able to do better with that. And with SEO as well, we've used that as our tool for finding targets for national brands that want to, really utilize their budget more effectively.
Wow. Okay, so Google Trends is a fabulous tool, and it is something we're going to link to it from the show notes because it's something I don't think a lot of people are aware of how much great information is there. Are there other things that I can do that will help me create a presence in a relevant market without completely blowing my budget?
Yes, there are many ways, and a lot of them deal with partnerships. I'm a big fan of finding opportunities to partner and looking for complementary businesses. So not only, can you go and do your search, try to find your search traffic and do your digital ads to that specific location, but you can find businesses that do a good volume with the same customer base, but using different services, and create partnerships where you mutually share each other's business or share each other's content. I actually have really great arrangements with some people that will send customers my way and I send customers their way. Some people refer to that as a power partnership, and those power partnerships can look different ways. Sometimes it may not be as blatant as literally sending each other customers and referring each other in that way, but you may create partnerships where perhaps you co-brand things, or I've helped people do things like reach out and find partners for co-branded sweepstakes and things of that nature, where you do contests to build your lists. And so you can do a lot of different things by just reaching out and creating relationships.
That's such a great idea. And I think the thing that you mentioned that really sparked my interest was this idea of creating joint contests. Because I think a lot of people get networking. I have my referral partners, blah, blah, blah. But this idea of collaborating to grow your list, to grow your
Mhm.
contact, to expand your footprint is a fabulous strategy.
Yes, I actually learned about it about, I think it was 5 years ago. There was a startup that no longer exists, where this startup actually tried to create a marketplace where we could, coordinate with other people. The marketplace didn't quite work, but I still kept with that idea. So I started with that tool, but then I realized I can do this on my own. And then I have a women's organization, and sometimes people will reach out to me naturally. And then I'll say, okay, well, let's do a co branded sweepstakes. And oftentimes they're retail or something like that. And they can give me things that I can then make a part of our giveaway. And that helps us both build our social media audiences, because you can use tools that allow you to. I use something called gleam.io, if people ever look for a tool. And that tool allows you to reward people for things like visiting either brand's website, um, liking something on social media, buying a ticket to an event. There's so many things that you can reward them for, and you give them more sweepstakes entries, and then you both can, make note that by entering, using certain things. So for perhaps one of them is add to the newsletter, and they get a point for that. And they should just know that when they're added to the newsletter, they'll be on both. So that you can kind of provide things like that, or let them know if you enter, we may email you about things. And so both brands get to grow their list, both brands can grow their social media, both brands can do things like get attention to the website or attention to specific social posts. It's just a win-win, and really, with something that doesn't take a lot of advertising dollars, can really engage your followers and build new.
And that will work equally well in your own backyard, and it will also work, like you said, if I've decided that Baltimore is a great or an interesting market, I can either find a collaboration partner in Baltimore or take one of my neighbors right here in Indy and say, hey, let's do this together and let's attack Baltimore. That's brilliant. I love that. Um, Krystal, if people want to learn more about you, where should they go?
They can visit my personal website, krystalcovington.com, Krystal with a K, or my company, goleadconsulting.com.
Awesome. Well, we will have links to both in the show notes. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you, Lorraine.
If you've enjoyed today's conversation, if you'd like to find other resources for your business, now's a great time to check out digitaltoolbox.club.